Hi, my name is Renee. I'm a single mom to Johanna, a filmmaker, and a Pan-Africanist. This is our unfiltered Pan-African story. I have always had strong views about Africa and moving to Africa. As a Jamaican, the Back to Africa philosophy is deeply stitched into our consciousness and our everyday life. For me, it has actually been a lifelong study at the feet of the masters of understanding the philosophies of Pan-Africanism. Understanding that all Africans around the world are one people. As a Pan-Africanist, I am determined to fulfill the work of those who came before me. But what exactly is Pan-Africanism? What does Pan-Africanism teach? Who are its philosophers and its great teachers? And why is Pan-Africanism so important? One of our elders to explain it to you better.
Most important, history tells a people where they still must go, what they still must be. The relationship of history to the people is the same as the relationship of a mother to her child.
Though it was the deepest desire for millions of enslaved Africans to return home to Africa, it was the British who were the progenitors and facilitators of the Back to Africa movement when, in 1797, transported 550 Jamaican Maroons from Halifax, Nova Scotia, where they were cruelly banished after the Second Maroon War, to Freetown, Sierra Leone. After the Jamaican Proclamation of Emancipation in 1838, when slavery was abolished, many of the exiled Maroons from Sierra Leone returned to Jamaica with tales of Africa, sparking the imagination of Jamaicans for generations to come.
The ultimate Pan-Africanist, of course, was the Jamaican Marcus Garvey.
Citizens of Africa, I greet you in the name of the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League of the World. You may ask, what organization is that? It is for me to inform you that the Universal Negro Improvement Association is an organization that seeks to unite into one solid body the 400 million Negroes of the world.
It was soon after the end of World War I. The Secretary of War had told the black American soldiers that their lot would not be appreciably changed by virtue of the fact that they fought in the war. There had been an investigation. It was discovered that many of the nurses wouldn't treat black soldiers in the hospital, wouldn't even touch them. Some of them died as a result. So you have these grievances pent up in the veteran coming home. All of this came to a head in 1919 when there were riots all over the United States. That's called the Red Summer. Marcus Garvey could point out, look, they don't want you here. Let's go back home. Let's go to Africa. Go back to Africa. Let's not only go back to Africa, let's go back in our own ships. Now a whole lot of people who otherwise would not listen now willing to listen.
We hear the cry of France for the Frenchmen, of Germany for the Germans, of Ireland for the Irish, of Japan for the Japanese. We of the Universal Negro Improvement Association are raising the cry of Africa for the Africans, those at home and those abroad.
He began to dream the great dream and rescue the mind of millions of black Americans from depression and self-doubt. Garvey moved over large territory maybe too fast, and yet he built the largest movement in Black America before or since. There needs to be a reassessment of Marcus Garvey and his long-reaching effects. He called attention to what slavery and colonialism had taken away. They took away a concept essential to all the people in the world. They took away the concept of state management and state maintenance. Once you are taken from the geography of your origin and forced to live in a state designed by others, you're still the slave to the man who's astute enough to control a container called the state.
Hi, my name is Renee Bruce Miller. I'm a one-year documentary film student at New York Film Academy Spring 2020 program. So I'm hoping to develop the skills that will help me to bring great arguments to life that inform, educate, and enlighten people about things that should be known in the world, specifically things concerning race.
Thank you, Tariq. Good afternoon, everybody. In the past 2 weeks, the number of cases of COVID-19 outside China has increased 13-fold.
Declaring a national emergency.
Is a 1 mile radius where one of the first people in this area tested positive.
In March of 2020, I lived in New Rochelle, New York, one of the first cities to go under lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic.
The National Guard in Westchester County today amid the growing threat from the coronavirus.
The number of confirmed cases has reached 121 in that area and over 200 across the tri-state. Overnight, a 1 mile containment zone officially went into effect in New Rochelle, which means big changes for people who live in that area.
A lockdown meant everything had to shut down, from sports games to Disney World. Food began flying from the shelves, and it was obvious to me from early on that we were not prepared.
Ahead of the game in preventing this.
Our testing capacity is nowhere near what it needs to be.
The U.S. could soon be the global epicenter of
deaths are nearing 1 million. 1 million cases in Texas. That's more than the country of Italy.
Across the country, the coronavirus abruptly forced at least 55 million kids from elementary school to college out of their classrooms.
As a documentary film student, my classes were also forced online. So on the day my town went on lockdown, I fled immediately to North Carolina. Against my better judgment, I had taken refuge with overzealous religious family members in North Carolina. But at the time, no one knew how long the lockdown would last, and I needed to focus on my schoolwork. I did everything I could to bring stability to the situation. I bought my own film gear that we would normally get at school. I bought Jojo a bicycle. I bought her a scooter. I bought her everything to keep her active and outside and out of the hair of everyone else. Furthermore, I had spent thousands of dollars on food to make sure we never ran out and we never had need to go into public more than necessary. I did everything I could to keep the peace. But no matter what I did, it was never good enough. I didn't know that my religious convictions my philosophies on Pan-Africanism and Rastafarianism was about to cost me everything. In 2020, the murder of George Floyd by police officers who kneeled on his neck until he suffocated and died sparked racial tension and riots across the entire United States. Breonna Taylor, an unarmed black woman, was shot to death in her sleep by police. Her only crime? Being asleep in her own bed.
In widespread unrest not seen in decades, American cities from Seattle to Washington, D.C. burned as many peaceful protests during the day turned to rioting and destruction by night. Governors in 12 U.S. states have activated National Guard troops to quell the violence and restore order. No peace! It was the latest move in a week of escalating tensions after George Floyd died in police custody. Derek Chauvin, the Minneapolis officer who pinned Floyd to the ground using his knee, now faces third-degree murder charges in connection with Floyd's death.
It was clear to me that nothing had changed in 100 years since the Red Summer of 1919.
This year's biggest trend for white ladies is calling 911 on black people.
It's a scenario that's become all too common, where a minor incident results in a white person calling the police on a black person.
There is a firestorm tonight over what happened 3 days ago at a Starbucks in Philadelphia, where the police were called in and 2 black men were arrested.
A white woman calls 911 on her black neighbors for what seems like no legitimate reason.
I didn't put my hands on you, woman.
Are you kidding me? Just because I came over here alone, I should have brought my son.
You know, that's when I came out and she was saying, did you see? Did you see? Nobody really saw. I said, oh, yes, I saw. And no, he did not attack you.
You know, some people can frame this as just an argument between neighbors, but this isn't an argument between neighbors when she's using the power of the state. She's calling on the power of the state to say, hey, I can have a knee in the back of your neck.
Here within 5 minutes.
If you don't submit to me.
In this climate right now, you're especially not supporting members of our community here.
We're seeing all the time this kind of weaponizing the police against black bodies.
The white woman who accused Emmett Till of making advances toward her.
In 1955, Brian Dunham accused the 14-year-old black boy of whistling and making advances towards her at a grocery store in Mississippi. Till was later kidnapped, tortured, and lynched by a mob. Till's death became a catalyst in the civil rights movement after his mother insisted on an open casket at his funeral.
America had a long, dark history of falsely accusing black people. Some white women had a tendency of calling the police and falsely accusing black people to weaponize the state to use force, sometimes deadly, to destroy black people.
No, I want the cops here right now.
Unfortunately for me, my own mother was a living, breathing Karen who often used the police to terrorize, harass, and bully her own children. In my lifetime, my own mother has called the police on me with false accusations at least 6 different times. My mother, a mixed-race woman raised in colonial Jamaica, had this sense of entitlement and superiority because of her lighter skin. As for me, being the darkest woman in my entire family, my entire life, I was bullied and abused.
I need to protect myself. Don't.
I let her stay out of the goodness of my heart, but she's getting more and more established. I can't find another word. Established.
This time, my mother's only complaint was that I had become established. But the words she was actually looking for was stable, peaceful, and unbothered by her provocations to trap me into an argument.
You call these good gentlemen here, and you're gonna have to pay their salaries because you brought them here for religious purposes. I have done nothing to you. They read the email. They heard the recording of you telling her cuss words. You want us to stay in there and close the door. You're operating your own plantation.
When all else failed, both her and my sister devised a plan that I should convert to their Jehovah's Witness religion or move out, both knowing I would never do such a thing. Knowing that my ancestors were forced, beaten, and whipped into Christianity, I could never accept that as my religion.
You listen, you're running your own plantation here. I don't have a car here. I don't have any way of getting away from here, and I am trying my best. I came from Westchester County, New York. I can't expose Johanna. She is 4 years old. This disease I told you, it's now coming after children, and you want me to take my child to Westchester.
To the deep annoyance of my mother, the police did not arrest me. They didn't throw me to the ground. They didn't put their knee in my neck. They didn't choke me until I died. They didn't try to arrest me. They did nothing to me but thank me and left. I desperately wanted to leave too, but editing my midterm film, I had to stay put, and I needed to go from stability to stability with Johanna. The lack of police brutality against me deeply annoyed my mother. She came up with a new plan, more devious and dark than ever before.
Can I help you?
Yes, there's someone out there to you.
I have no one coming here to me. No one is here to me. I'm doing my homework. Okay, Jojo is still asleep. There's no one here to me.
It was obvious I needed to go, but where was I going to go? How was I going to get there? What was I going to do? Did I have to drop out of school? What was going to happen to me and Jojo?
I don't know why this woman insists on terrorizing me. I'm in here, Jojo just wake up, I'm quietly doing my homework, she come beating down the door. I don't know why she insists on terrorizing me. She wants me to come out of the house, they want me to do this, to do that, for what reason, I don't know. I haven't done anything to her, I haven't stolen anything from her, I haven't lied on her, I haven't done anything. But she's insisting on calling the police over and over and over and over and over again because of provocation from my sister. They both are the same religion. This is the violation of my religious rights in the state of North Carolina. I have freedom of religion. I do not have to accept her religion in order to be a human being. I have nowhere to go, and I'm not going to take my child to go expose her to the coronavirus to satisfy her evil. I'm not opening the door. If they want to kick the door down, they can kick the door down. You mosquitoes are feeding on you. I have to sleep with the windows open. I'm not opening this door, so whatever is on, I'm peaceful in here. Sir, I haven't done anything for the sheriff. I have nothing to take from you, sir.
I did not open the door because I was completely petrified. Was I going to get shot in my bed like Breonna Taylor? Is this where I became a statistic in the police killing machine? I needed peace, I needed quiet, and I needed stability, but I realized I was not going to get that. And so I started to pack my bags to get as far away as I possibly could. At 11 a.m., when I finally began to pack my belongings to flee, my mother suddenly realized that all the food in the house belonged to me. And that infuriated her further, and she again called the police.
I'm at peace with these people. I'm at peace, sir. I'm at peace. That's my stuff. I have the receipts for all of them. I spent $2,000, and she went to try to get me evicted. Right? The $2,000. I have a receipt.
Back up so I can get up here and tell you.
I'm done. I'm in there doing my homework this morning, right? And she comes banging on the door. Oh, the sheriff, somebody's here to see you. I have a 4-year-old child. I'm not in a position to leave. I don't have a car, right? They want me to get out. I'll get out. I just called Enterprise, but I'm gonna tell you, that's my money. I got the receipt. I can show you. That's my stuff. I spent $2,000 to make sure she had food before my sister got here, right? And now that she's here, she wants me to get out. I'm gonna get out. This is all I can do. I have no power. They're doing this is me. Oh God.